Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1 today, we're diving into the story of one of the most iconic coins in American history. It's a tiny copper piece that many people think is just spare change, but it could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. Yes, that's right, a humble, 1-cent coin minted in the United States during the Eisenhower era could be the golden ticket for coin collectors. And if you stick with us until the end of this video, you'll find out just how much this little coin can fetch in the right condition. It might just blow your mind. And now, let's rewind a bit and talk about the coin itself. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. That in itself was groundbreaking. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny features a profile of Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back, hence the nickname wheat penny. The 1957 wheat penny was produced near the end of the wheat penny era, just 2 years before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse design in 1959. By that time, the wheat penny had become a beloved classic, and millions were produced annually. The 1957 version was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which means you'll either find a plain version or one with a small D mint mark under the date. Now you might be wondering, if millions of these were made, how can any of them be rare or valuable? That's a great question, and the answer lies in the coin's condition, rarity, and unusual minting errors. You see, while most 1957 wheat pennies are worth just a few cents today, certain versions can be worth thousands, especially if they're in pristine condition or have one of several highly desirable flaws. Let's start with condition. Collectors use a grading system to evaluate coins, with grades like good, fine, extremely fine, and at the top, mint state. A mint state 1957 wheat penny, especially one that hasn't seen the inside of a pocket, purse, or coin roll, is rare and highly prized. These coins show no signs of wear and have a brilliant luster that makes them look like they were just struck yesterday. But what really gets collectors excited are error coins, rare pieces that were accidentally misprinted at the US Mint. These might have double dies, off-center strikes, or even coins that were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet. There have even been stories of 1957 pennies being struck on silver blanks, which is incredibly unusual and valuable. Imagine having a coin that not only is decades old but also bears a unique flaw that makes it one of a kind. That's the kind of treasure coin collectors dream of, and they're willing to pay serious money to add such pieces to their collection. Another thing that adds value is the coin's color and tone. Believe it or not, a red-colored 1957 wheat penny that has been preserved without oxidizing or turning brown can fetch a much higher price than a dull, worn version. Collectors often seek out what's called red mint state coins, those that maintain their original coppery hue, and those are getting harder and harder to find as time goes by. And now, here's where things get really exciting. In the world of coin collecting, auctions can turn everyday items into astonishing paydays. A 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with rare features, perfect condition, and historical significance recently shocked the collector community with its value. So how much could a rare, near-perfect 1957 Lincoln wheat penny really be worth today? Brace yourself, because one of these coins has sold for as much as $85,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny, 1 cent, worth $85,000 in the collector's market. It's almost impossible to believe, but that's the beauty of numismatics. It's the thrill of the hunt. A little copper coin, barely larger than a thumbnail, could change your life if you happen to have the right one. So, if you've got a jar of old coins at home, or you've recently inherited a collection from a relative, now is the time to go digging. Look closely at every 1957 wheat penny you come across. Check the mint mark, examine the condition, and if it looks like it's in incredible shape or just looks a little off, you might want to have it appraised by a professional. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to learn about hidden treasures that might be hiding right under your nose. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? That penny in your hand might just be the next $85,000 discovery. Top 2. We're about to reveal the story behind one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatic history. It's small, it's copper, and if you've got one, you could be sitting on a life-changing treasure. Today, we're talking about the rare and valuable 1917 Lincoln wheat penny, and now at first glance, the 1917's penny might look like any other worn, old coin. But what sets this particular one apart is not just its age, but the incredible story behind its creation, its historical context, and the few surviving examples in top condition that make it a true collector's dream. Let's travel back in time for a moment. The year is 1917. The United States is entering World War I. The world is changing, and so is the country. Factories are booming, soldiers are being sent overseas, and coins like the Lincoln wheat penny are being minted in large numbers to fuel a growing wartime economy. But here's the twist: while millions of pennies were minted that year, only a portion were struck at the San Francisco Mint, identified by the small s just below the date. The 1917's wheat penny is a product of its time. It was struck during a period of global upheaval, when resources were tight and precision at the mints wasn't always perfect. That means not only are 1917's pennies naturally more scarce, but many of them were poorly struck or heavily circulated. As a result, finding one in beautiful, near-perfect condition is incredibly rare now. If you've ever held a Lincoln wheat penny in your hand, you know the design is iconic. The front features a profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity and strength during trying times. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this was the first U.S. coin to honor a real person, and Lincoln was the perfect choice. Turn it over, and you see the words 1 cent flanked by 2 stalks of wheat, simple, elegant, and symbolic of growth and prosperity. It's this design that makes wheat pennies such beloved pieces in the world of coin collecting. And among them, the 1917s stands as one of the key semi-key dates that collectors dream of adding to their collection. So what makes this coin so valuable? Well, there are 3 major factors: rarity, condition, and demand. First, let's talk rarity. While over 32 million of these coins were minted at the San Francisco Mint, that number has dwindled significantly over the past century. Many have been lost, damaged, melted down, or simply worn out from decades of use. The number of well-preserved examples still in existence is shockingly low, especially in high grades. Then there's condition. In the world of coin grading, condition is everything. A 1917's penny that's been passed around in pockets for years might only be worth a couple dollars today. But one that's been perfectly preserved, no scratches, no wear, full details on Lincoln's coat and the wheat stalks, now that's a different story entirely. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless mint state. Most surviving 1917's pennies fall far below that mark. But a small handful, less than a dozen known to exist, have managed to hold on to their luster for more than 100 years. Those are the coins that make headlines. And finally, demand. The Lincoln wheat penny series is one of the most collected coin sets in the world. Thousands of collectors are constantly searching for that one missing date to complete their collection. The 1917s, especially in higher grades, is one of the most difficult to find, which drives up the price even further. It's the perfect storm of history, rarity, and desire. Now here's where things get really exciting. Imagine stumbling across an old coin jar at your grandparents' house, or finding a dusty penny at a flea market, and realizing it's a 1917's Lincoln wheat penny in immaculate condition. You might think, hey, it's just an old penny, but that little piece of copper could be worth a jaw-dropping amount. In fact, one of the finest known examples of the 1917's Lincoln wheat penny, in stunning mint state condition with original red coloring, has sold for as much as $160,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. Just one coin. $160,000. That's the magic of coin collecting. That's the thrill that keeps collectors hunting, searching, and studying. A penny may seem small, but its value can be massive, especially when history, rarity, and condition align just right. So the next time you come across a handful of pennies, don't just toss them aside. Take a closer look. Especially if you spot that small s under the 1917 date. Because you never know, your fortune could be hiding in plain sight. Top 3. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny. At first glance, this coin might not seem extraordinary. After all, it's a penny, a 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. But make no mistake, the 1945 wheat penny has become a legendary piece in the world of coin collecting. It represents more than just money, it's a piece of American history, forged in the fires of World War II and marked with the craftsmanship of a bygone era. Let's set the stage. The year is 1945. The Second World War is coming to an end. Troops are returning home, the nation is healing, and the economy is shifting from wartime production to peacetime prosperity. In Denver, the U.S. Mint is hard at work striking coins to keep up with everyday demand. Among them is the humble 1945 Dewey penny, bearing the small d mint mark just below the date, signifying its origin in the Denver Mint. The Lincoln wheat penny itself was introduced in 1909, celebrating 100 years since Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the front of the coin features the iconic side profile of Lincoln, a figure of integrity and leadership. The reverse, with its twin wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent, symbolizes strength, growth, and the hard-working American spirit. For collectors, every detail of this design adds to the coin's charm. Now here's where things get interesting. Over 266 million 1945 Dewey pennies were struck. So how can one of them be worth more than $100,000? The secret lies in rarity, not just the rarity of the coin itself, but the rarity of its condition. While millions were made, nearly all of them were used in everyday transactions. They were passed through hands, spent at general stores, tossed into piggy banks, and worn down over decades. Very few escaped the rough handling of daily use, and even fewer were preserved in immaculate, uncirculated condition. Now imagine this: finding a 1945 Dewey penny that looks like it was minted yesterday. Sharp edges, clear lines, a rich copper red color that gleams in the light. No scratches, no wear, no signs of circulation. That kind of condition is incredibly rare. These pennies are what collectors call mint state and are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Anything above a grade of 65 is considered a true gem, and when a 1945 D penny reaches that level, its value skyrockets. But that's not all. Some rare 1945 Dewey pennies have been found with fascinating mint errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or even coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. These kinds of mistakes were unintentional, but they've become prized by collectors. Why? Because they're one of a kind. Each error tells a story, a moment in history when something unusual happened at the mint. Even small variations in the coin's tone can make a huge difference. A 1945 D penny with a full red luster, meaning it retains nearly all of its original copper color, is significantly more valuable than one that's turned brown from age. That's why coin storage matters. A penny kept safe in a protective holder, away from moisture and heat, could end up being worth more than a brand new dollar bill. Collectors across the world are constantly searching for high-grade 1945 Dewey pennies to complete their sets. It's one of those key dates that brings a collection together. And with interest in rare coins growing every year, the demand just keeps climbing. So here's the big question: how much could a rare 1945 D Lincoln wheat penny actually be worth? Take a deep breath, because the answer might surprise you. A flawless, high-grade, mint-state 1945 Dewey penny, especially one with rich red luster or a unique mint error, has been known to sell for as much as $105,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. 1 cent. One tiny copper coin. $105,000. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about history, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt. So if you've got a jar of old coins at home, or you've inherited a collection from a relative, go digging. Look for that 1945 Dewey penny. Examine it closely. You just might be holding a piece of history that could change your life. Top 4. We're uncovering the story behind a coin that might be sitting in your collection, completely unnoticed until now. We're talking about the incredible, and potentially very valuable, 1953 D Lincoln wheat penny. Now at first glance, this coin might seem ordinary. It's a copper 1-cent piece, right? But don't let that fool you. The truth is, some versions of the 1953 Dewey penny are anything but ordinary. In fact, one of these little coins has made collectors' jaws drop, and its value will absolutely shock you. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. Let's rewind for a second and talk about where this coin fits in US history. The year was 1953. America was entering a new chapter. World War II was behind us, the Korean War was just ending, and Dwight D. Eisenhower had just become president. It was a time of new beginnings, booming industries, and a renewed sense of national pride. And in the middle of all that, at the Denver Mint, the U.S. was producing millions of Lincoln wheat pennies. The D on the 1953 D penny stands for the Denver Mint, one of the main mints where U.S. coins were produced. Over 700 million of these pennies were struck that year, an impressive number. So the question is, how can a coin that was minted in such massive quantities ever be considered rare? The answer lies in a few key factors: rarity and condition, unusual minting errors, and collector demand. Let's start with condition. Sure, 700 million were made, but most of them entered circulation immediately. They were used in stores, passed from hand to hand, dropped in vending machines, and carried around in pockets and purses for decades. That constant use wore them down. Today, finding a 1953 penny in nearly flawless condition, what experts call mint state, is incredibly rare. Collectors go wild for coins that have never been circulated. These are coins with no scratches, no smudges, and full, crisp details. Every line in Lincoln's coat. Every wheat stalk on the reverse side. And the original coppery red shine, untouched by time. That's what makes a coin truly valuable. And now, let's talk about something even more fascinating: mint errors. Some 1953 pennies were struck with imperfections during the minting process. These could include double dies, off-center strikes, or coins accidentally made with the wrong metal composition. These mistakes weren't meant to happen, but when they did, they created unique, one-of-a-kind coins that collectors are willing to pay serious money to. In the world of coin collecting, these rare variations are like winning the lottery. If you have a 1953 penny that shows an unusual marking, a doubling of the date or lettering, or even the wrong planchet, you may be holding something incredibly rare. These kinds of minting anomalies can take a simple penny and make it a numismatic legend. Even color plays a role in value. Coins are categorized by color: red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. A 1953 penny with its original red luster is worth significantly more than one that's turned brown over time. Why? Because it shows the coin has been carefully preserved, untouched by air, moisture, or human hands for decades. So now you might be wondering, what's the real payoff? What happens if you find one of these 1953 wheat pennies in top-tier condition, or with one of those rare mint errors? Well, here's the moment you've been waiting for. One of the finest known examples of the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny, flawless, uncirculated, and possibly featuring a rare minting error, has fetched a jaw-dropping total of $90,000. Yes, you heard that right. $90,000 for a single penny. Something so small, so overlooked, and yet so incredibly valuable in the hands of the right collector. This is why coin collecting is so exciting. It's the thrill of the hunt, the magic of history, and the possibility that a tiny copper coin sitting in a dusty drawer or old jar could change everything. So take a moment. Check your change, open that old coin box, or take a fresh look at a collection that's been in your family for years. That 1-cent coin might be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Top 5. We're diving into a piece of American history that you've probably seen 100 times before without realizing just how special it could be. We're talking about a coin that's often mistaken for everyday pocket change, yet has the potential to be a life-changing treasure. That's right, today we're uncovering the secrets behind the rare and valuable 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. And now, the Lincoln wheat penny is no stranger to collectors. It's one of the most iconic coins ever produced in the United States, and it has been a staple of American coinage since 1909. Designed to honor the great President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday, the coin was the first U.S. currency to feature a real person, and not just any person, but the man who helped preserve the Union. Fast forward to 1950. The United States was coming out of the shadow of World War II. The economy was booming, American industry was thriving, and the world was entering a new chapter. And while the events of the day were shaping the future, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing millions of pennies, just like it always had. Among them was the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But what makes a 1950 wheat penny so special? Well, here's where things get interesting. While over 272 million of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia alone, only a tiny percentage have survived in pristine, untouched condition. Most of these coins were spent, scratched, dropped, and forgotten over the decades. But a rare few were kept safe, maybe in a coin collection, a mint roll, or a tucked-away drawer, and those coins, in near-perfect condition, are now worth far more than a single cent. Let's talk about what collectors look for. First, there's the condition of the coin. A 1950 Lincoln wheat penny that has never been circulated is considered a mint-state coin. That means no wear, no blemishes, and sharp, crisp details. Lincoln's coat lines are clear, the wheat stalks are bold, and the fields of the coin are smooth and clean. These coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Then there's the color. Yes, color matters a lot. Pennies are made of copper, and over time, they can turn brown or dull. But a 1950 wheat penny that retains its original red luster, what collectors call full red, can be worth dramatically more. That fiery, untouched copper tone is a sign that the coin has been carefully preserved for decades, and collectors absolutely love that. And let's not forget mint errors. Some 1950 wheat pennies were struck with fascinating and rare mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, or even coins pressed on the wrong type of metal planchet. These minting errors were never intended to leave the facility, but when they did, they became instant rarities. A mint error can multiply the value of a coin many times over, especially when combined with excellent condition. So why does all this matter? Because coin collecting isn't just about numbers or metal, it's about history, preservation, and the thrill of discovering something truly rare. Every time you pick up a penny and take a closer look, you're connecting with a story that goes back generations. You're holding a piece of American heritage in the palm of your hand now. Here's the part you've been waiting for. Let's talk value. While most 1950 Lincoln wheat pennies are only worth a few cents to a few dollars, there are rare exceptions that have stunned collectors and dealers alike. We're talking about coins in near-perfect mint condition, with brilliant red luster and possibly even a unique minting error. One such coin, a flawless example of a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny with exceptional detail, uncirculated condition, and preserved red shine, has sold at auction for an unbelievable amount. That little 1-cent coin fetched a total of $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, $95,000. That's the kind of treasure that could be hiding in a box of old coins or sitting quietly in a forgotten drawer. You just have to know what to look for. So the next time you come across a 1950 penny, don't toss it aside. Take a good look at it. Examine the date, check the condition, and see if that little copper coin has a brilliant red shine. Because if you're lucky, you could be holding onto a piece of history worth more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another hidden coin story. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your coins close, and happy hunting!